This is an emergency announcement for all residents. Please remain calm and listen carefully to the following instructions. Authorities have confirmed an unusual phenomenon affecting mirrors and reflective surfaces throughout the district. At this time, the Department of Safety advises that you do not approach, touch, or attempt to interact with any reflection that behaves abnormally. The first reports indicate that some reflections have begun moving independently of their owners. Initially, this was observed as subtle, delayed gestures, an arm rising a fraction of a second after the person in front of the mirror. Residents noted smiles that appeared a heartbeat too late, eyes that lingered too long. While seemingly minor, these discrepancies are deliberate and targeted. Do not attempt to argue with or confront your reflection. Do not reach toward it. In at least 6 confirmed cases, the reflection has repeated movements perfectly, then paused, then began acting in ways the original person would never perform, tilting the head sharply, stepping forward when the room behind them remains empty. Children report watching their reflections blink out of sync, mouths twitching into shapes that make no sense, whispering words that were never spoken aloud. Mirrors, glass windows, polished surfaces, even puddles are now considered compromised. The reflection's behavior escalates with observation. If you look too long, it will begin to mimic you exactly, then subtly distort. Limbs lengthen or thin unnaturally. Skin tones pale or darken in impossible patterns. Eyes widen until the whites dominate the face. At this stage, the reflection will no longer hesitate. It will begin to gesture insistently, beckoning, stepping toward the edge of the surface, and when ignored, screaming silently, mouthing commands that you can feel, not hear. We repeat, do not stare, do not engage, do not acknowledge the reflection in any way. Multiple reports indicate that those who maintain prolonged eye contact are sometimes unable to look away. They describe a sensation of being pulled forward, of the surface thickening, like glass melting around them, until the reflection reaches out and occupies the space they once inhabited. The original person is left immobile, staring, and the reflection takes their place with frightening fidelity. Friends and family report subtle differences. The smile lasts too long, the gaze never blinks, but the change is unmistakable. Authorities have observed the phenomenon accelerating. Surfaces that were once safe are no longer reliable. Bathroom mirrors, bedroom windows, classroom glass, and even the screens of electronic devices have begun exhibiting independent motion. The reflections now act with clear intent. They watch, wait, and mimic before altering in grotesque imitation. Residents have reported seeing their reflections step out while they remained perfectly still, only to return to the surface moments later, smiling wider than is anatomically possible. If you see your reflection move without your command, run immediately. Avoid reflective surfaces entirely. Cover all mirrors, turn off unnecessary lights, and do not speak to the image in any capacity. Attempts to flee later than the first moment of motion have proven fatal or result in permanent replacement. The Department of Safety cannot guarantee survival once the reflection becomes aware that you have noticed it. Remain vigilant. Remain silent. Do not look again. This is not a test.